This is my teddy bear. He's almost 40 years old. He lost his nose one year, and I think he had a hat at some point that's also gone, but he's all right. He's hanging in there. His name is Bear because I was a very creative young child. He's with us today because the research I got into for this one got a little emotional, and I needed him to be here to keep everyone calm. And I can promise you this, if you make it to the end of this video, you'll never look at teddy bears the same way, ever again. If you still have your teddy bear, go get him, like right now, go get him. Hug him tight. This channel is Evie Unraveling. The point and purpose here is to explore the intriguing ways that textiles intersect with politics and society and pop culture. I do a lot of history research for my other channel, Jillian Eve, and oftentimes there's stuff that I learned while doing research for that channel that doesn't really fit with that channel, but I want to share it. So, I created Evie Unraveling. Welcome! I suppose I should remind you to subscribe if you're into video essays, because I plan to unravel lots of stuff around here, and I have quite a few videos planned. So, enough of that. What are we up to today? Today, we are going on a journey to unravel the history, mythology, and maybe psychology of teddy bears. Let's time travel for a moment to a time when teddy bears didn't exist yet. It's November 14th of 1902, and we are in Mississippi with President Theodore Roosevelt.
Ah, Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes.
He was our fourth president, right?
26th.
26th.
Theodore Roosevelt is out on a hunting trip. Roosevelt's guide, Holt Collier, wanted to make sure that the president got his chance to shoot a bear. So Collier's crew chased down an old black bear with their dogs. They beat it with sticks, and they tied it to a tree and presented it to Roosevelt. Roosevelt refused to shoot the injured, defenseless bear. He said it wasn't sportsmanlike. Clifford Berryman, a political cartoonist, caught wind of the story and sketched Roosevelt turning away from a terrified, cute, little innocent bear cub. The cartoon ran on November 16th, 1902, and the public ate it up. Roosevelt, the strenuous life guy, was both strong and manly and compassionate. A masculine, tough guy who is capable of mercy. In Brooklyn, Morris and Rose Mitchum saw the cartoon in the paper and made a stuffed bear cub. They asked Roosevelt himself if they could name it Teddy's Bear in his honor. And by February of 1903, Teddy's bears were flying off the shelves. That was the birth of the teddy bear. It was a trophy hunting trip that turned into a propaganda cartoon that became a viral toy. I knew this story, the part most people know if they know the story at all. I knew Roosevelt refused to shoot a bear, but what I didn't know was that he asked someone else to euthanize the bear. And that was probably also an act of mercy and compassion towards the animal, really. But it feels like there's something very American about that story, using the media to build a presidential persona, which is then marketed and sold, and all the while the real fate of the bear gets completely left out of the history books. Unless you dig a little, then you can find it. The Sierra Nevada was once home to an estimated 10,000 grizzly bears. However, when a surge of white settlers moved into California during the California Gold Rush during the first part of the 1800s, they started hunting bears relentlessly. By the time Teddy Roosevelt was on his black bear hunting expedition in Mississippi, grizzly bears had been effectively exterminated across the state of California. There's still one on the state flag, though. But back to the cuddly kind. Psychologists call teddy bears transitional objects. They help children bridge the gap between dependence and independence. A child can cling to a teddy bear when a parent isn't there, and that bear becomes a stand in for safety. Snuggling with teddy bears can also help boost oxytocin, known as the love hormone. When we hug or hold on to something soft and comforting, our bodies release oxytocin, which promotes feelings of safety and emotional connection. Teddy bears soothe people by triggering a physiological response that calms the nervous system when it is frazzled. Teddy bears are also tools for teaching children about their world. Tucking the bear into bed helps children process and understand the routine of bedtime. Maybe they tell the bear a story or read the bear a story. After skinning their own knee, putting a band aid on a teddy bear friend helps children learn empathy and kindness, taking care of others. Role play is very important for young children. And toys like teddy bears can be essential tools for the social and emotional development of young children, who then grow up to have a fond emotional connection to teddy bears. Teddy bears and other plush toys are among the most common comfort items given to children after disasters like house fires or during hospital stays. Relief organizations and charities often distribute them immediately in emergencies because they're soft and portable and symbolically and literally reassuring. A teddy bear offers a sense of safety when everything feels chaotic. In hospitals, teddy bears are recognized as comfort objects, and they help children cope with stress and trauma and separation by providing a familiar, tactile anchor. Dedicated programs such as Comfort Bears in a Catastrophe collect and deliver bears to children impacted by crises, sometimes with encouraging notes attached.
I started Comfort Bears in the fall of 2020, and I created it based on my own experience as a child Hurricane Katrina survivor, losing my favorite teddy bear. I knew that children needed that comfort, and there was a gap there that I wanted to fix.
I've had the added benefit of being able to hand out a bear on a call, and it is such a great benefit to the department as a whole.
We have 6 bears on each truck, and we just make sure that they go to kids that have been in catastrophe, right?
Having such a thoughtful gift to be able to hand out to a child after some sort of negative event in their life has proven to be such a positive.
Hello, I'm Mimi Himel, the founder and executive director of Comfort Bears in a Catastrophe. You can get involved by visiting our website, www.comfortbearsinacatastrophe.org.
Teddy bears are a surprisingly big part of the global toy market. In 2024, the teddy bear industry was valued at $3.5 billion with a B and is expected to reach $5.2 billion by 2033. That's a lot of bears. These numbers are including one-of-a-kind handcrafted creations made by skilled artisans, as well as mass-produced plushies, the kind that get jammed in those weird cage things in the big box stores or like claw machines. Most modern plushies are stitched together from synthetic fibers like polyester, that, soft plush fabric stuff that's kind of like fake fur, and acrylic. Those materials tend to be chosen for their durability and their softness, and they're cheap. But some premium brands are still reaching for natural fibers, such as cotton or wool, which echoes the earliest teddy bears that were made from mohair pile and wood shavings. He's not biodegradable, but we can't all be perfect. Every year, millions of stuffed toys roll off production lines, and with them, of course, come mountains of textile waste, fabric scraps, synthetic stuffing, packaging. Most of it isn't biodegradable because polyester is plastic. It piles up in landfills and contributes to our massive pollution from plastic problem. When you add in the fast fashion mindset, constantly updating designs, constantly producing more, cheaper, faster, collect them all, the waste grows even faster. There are people who are working on solutions, though. Loved Before is a London-based company that rescues and rehomes pre-loved soft toys. Founded by Charlotte Liebling, it cleans and restores donated plushies, celebrates their quirks, and gives each one a new story before sending them to a new home. By turning secondhand toys into adoptions, Loved Before reduces textile waste while offering sustainable, emotionally resonant alternatives. I think it's a really cool project. And I think that it's the emotionally resonant and the adoption elements that I think make this idea really successful. The link for that one is also in the video description if you'd like to check them out. Build-A-Bear was created in 1997 by Maxine Clark. The first store opened in the St. Louis Galleria Mall. Build-A-Bear pioneered experiential retail. Instead of buying a finished toy, guests participate in the making process. This includes the iconic heart ceremony, where a small fabric heart is placed inside the bear before it is stitched closed. It's a cute thing, and lots of people have big nostalgia for Build-A-Bear. I always feel bad when I critique things that are kind of beloved, but I think it's good to practice thinking critically. So here's something that we can practice to do that. Remove emotions from the conversation. Those are yours. You can have them, you can keep them. No one's coming for your feelings or your personal identity in relation to this topic. So let's think about this from a metacognitive perspective, an overview, if you will, of the concept of Build-A-Bear, the consumerism of it all. Build-A-Bear's experiential retail model is a business approach that focuses on creating interactive experiences for customers rather than just selling products. In this model, the shopping trip becomes a special and memorable event. The idea is to deepen emotional connections with customers towards the brand. This encourages brand loyalty and makes the act of buying from the company feel special and meaningful. Build-A-Bear survived the retail apocalypse that shuttered giants like Toys R Us by leaning into the emotional participation, customization, and community experience aspects. You can shop online for toys. You can shop online for customized toys even, but you can't shop online when your participation in creating the product is the product, right? Early cake mix sales grew after their introduction in the 1930s and 40s. However, by the mid-1950s, sales began to plateau. Psychologist Ernest Dichter discovered that the simplicity of the new just add water mixes made the homemakers feel guilty and disconnected from the baking process. It was too simple. It was too easy. To address this, companies reformulated the mixes to require the addition of fresh eggs, which gave the bakers a sense of participation and pride. Just some eggs, that's all it took. This psychological shift helped revive sales and strengthened the emotional connection to baking. Are you ready? Do you know where we're going? Did you see the thumbnail? While Build-A-Bear Workshop's concept of experiential retail was groundbreaking in retail at the time, Starbucks had already begun shifting towards participation and customization in the 1980s. They were inspired by Italian espresso bars, and by the mid-1990s, Starbucks was encouraging customers to personalize their drinks. Frappuccinos launched in 1995, and by the early 2000s, customization options were widely marketed. When you add an extra shot, which I always do, whenever I drink espresso coffee, like anywhere I drink espresso coffee, because caffeine actually calms me down. Anyway, when you swap out the milk or when you dial the sweetness up or down, you're doing an experiential retail. That's what you're doing, and that's on purpose. That customization makes the latte feel more unique. It's more you because it's personalized. It's the same psychology that saved box cake mixes when the manufacturers added the egg. People want to feel like they've had a hand in the creation. There's something fundamentally human about creating stuff. That's why I make stuff, because I have to be a human. To be this human, I have to. The numbers back it up too, though. Customizations alone bring in over $1 billion with a B, dollars a year. Starbucks sold a fabricated emotional connection, and then they told their customers that they're part of an authentic community. In November of 2025, the month I'm actually recording this, Starbucks did what Starbucks always does. They dropped their annual holiday Starbucks merch. And this year, it was a glass cup shaped like a teddy bear with a little plastic knit-looking beanie lid. It is a barista. I mean, it is kind of adorable, I'll admit it. It's cute. But people lost their ever-loving minds to get their hands on this cup.
Oh my God, I did it! Ah!
I mean, they were camping out in parking lots at 2 in the morning, waiting for the doors to open so they could sprint inside and grab a bear cup.
Guys, I got the Starbucks Bear Cup 2 days ago when they dropped, but I haven't drank out of it since, or at all. But what I feel like it's kind of embarrassing to have it, like I really woke up to go get this cup.
The holiday drops are always low stock and they sell out quickly, so people do this regularly, especially the people who are into collecting the annual holiday merch. But this year, stores only got 1 or 2 bear cups per location. Not boxes, not cases, actual cups, like 2 cups per location. So, of course, the bear cups sold out immediately. People were posting TikToks at like 5 a.m., pressed up against the glass of the locked door, watching the employees buy all 2 barista cups while those employees were on their way to open the front door and let in the parking lot campers at 5 a.m. They were already sold out.
The drama over these Starbucks Bear Cups is absolutely insane.
That is not fair. That is not right.
These are employees of Starbucks.
2 hours. You guys are not fair. Including the employees, whoever's the manager, you guys are going to stop this because you know this is wrong.
All over social media, there are viral videos popping up with people being upset that Starbucks employees cut the line to purchase these new glass Bear Cups.
All the Starbucks employees came and they took everything, and we've been waiting in line outside.
This viral video posted by Coda D Stylist, she talks about how she and her family went to Starbucks at 3 o'clock in the morning to wait for the release of these glass barista cups that Starbucks has been advertising that they will be selling. However, as she was standing outside waiting in line, a manager came up, unlocked the front door, and allowed multiple employees to come inside and purchase their items first. By the time that she got inside, all of the bear cups were sold out. Unfortunately, this appears to be a common theme at multiple different Starbucks locations because apparently each store was only given 1 to 2 bear cups.
It was a complete frenzy for these bear cups. I already have a bear cup, so I didn't need one. But these bear cups were selling for about $30, but they immediately hit eBay, going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
This is the much sought after Barista Cold Cup. It's a bear-shaped glass mug with a green beanie and a Starbucks logo on its belly. It sells for $29.95, but if you're looking for one, be prepared to spend a lot more. On eBay, they're selling for up to $550. Hi, how are you? Oh, you have it. Perfect. Look at that. We found ours on Facebook Marketplace and paid a whopping $290 for it, nearly 10 times the original price. Dina Palovic lined up at 4:30 a.m. and ended up going to 4 different Starbucks before scoring one. You have a bear!
I know.
What do you love about it?
Honestly, I feel like being able to see the drink through the cup is my favorite part, and I do love bears.
There's one, I mean, I know it's a troll, right? I know it's a joke, but it's like thousands of dollars for this bear cup. We all know, right? This wasn't an accident. This was Starbucks manufacturing scarcity. Manufacturing virality.
Would you line up at 4 a.m. to buy a cup from Starbucks? Every time I think we've reached peak consumerism, here comes another emotional support object we need to buy. The Starbucks Bear Cup shows us how good corporations have gotten at making us their marketing team. Something goes viral and it's cute, so everyone's talking about it. So we share it, unbox it, and post it. And suddenly their entire ad campaign is done for free. Because consumerism has trained us to confuse buying with belonging. If everyone's got it, we feel left out until we do. But that feeling doesn't last because trends keep moving and keep us spending. The brand makes millions and we're left holding the bag, or bear. And corporations don't even have to try to keep us consuming if our algorithms are doing it for them. The less we feed into their marketing machine, the more money we have to invest into our actual communities instead of somebody else's profit.
And I get it on one level, on the people side of it. We all have that thing that we want, that little treat that sparks our joy. And if you love something, you love it, and that's fine. Personally, I've been near to feral myself at fleece auctions from time to time. I'll throw elbows if I think that you're about to go outbid me. So, I get it. Do the thing that makes you happy. Find your joy. But this was completely contrived. You cannot tell me that Starbucks, with all of their analytics and they knew demand would be through the roof. Because they knew, of course they knew. They knew that they could make grown adults fight over a cup. A glass cup. A glass cup that is probably hard to wash and doesn't fit in the cup holder of your vehicle and can't hold anything hot because it doesn't have a handle. And I was watching all of these wild videos show up in my feed, and I kept wondering, would this have had the same reaction if it was a glass cup? Like a regular cylindrical cup with a green lid and green and white striped straw. Just remove the bear shape and make it a plain cup. I don't think people would have been as bat guano cuckoo without the bear. I think the bear really matters. And by the way, if you really need the bear cup for some reason, a bunch of places already have dupes out because it was probably a white label product from Alibaba to begin with. And then you can have a bear cup and you won't have to spend $1 billion to get it from eBay or whatever. And more importantly, you won't have to cross a picket line to get it because as of the time of recording this, recording, I don't know what we're doing. We're recording, I think. Anyway, Starbucks workers are on strike in more than 40 cities across the U.S. over unfair labor practices and probably also abuse by customers when Starbucks doesn't send enough inventory for a thing that they know is going to sell out. Pop quiz. Do you know which president signed the National Labor Relations Act guaranteeing workers the right to organize, join unions, and bargain collectively? If you guessed Roosevelt, you're kind of right. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a different Roosevelt who was a distant cousin of our Teddy Roosevelt, but Teddy Roosevelt did do some things that were important in getting the country to that point. He broke with precedent when he refused to send in the troops to crush the anthracite coal strike of 1902. That's right. It was a regular thing that presidents would send in the troops when workers unionized. Teddy Roosevelt started laying the groundwork for recognition of union legitimacy and legal protections. But no, I don't think people would have cared as much if the cup wasn't a bear. I think teddy bears have become a deeply symbolic part of cultural childhood at this point. They convey innocence and feelings of safety and a sense of comfort, all those things we've talked about. And the way the world is today, things are pretty awful, and we all want that sense of safety and comfort. And Starbucks knows it. They also know that they have that loyal following of people whose, customized yearly pumpkin spice lattes have generated an emotional connection to the brand. I mean, yearly, it's a commodified ritual, psychologically engineered to make customers emotionally connected to their participation with the brand. I think there's something ironic in the way that the Bear Cup, which was created for this contrived demand and manufactured virality, and how it's wrapped up in this symbol of safety and comfort. It's ironic that it's literally hollow.
You believe this crap? Not really. It is a terrible world. Why am I here?
For tea parties.
Tea parties. Is that all there is?
A transatlantic flight from Dallas to Louisville, Kentucky.
Every time I do one of these videos, I always want to bring it together with some sense of hope in the end, something actionable as individuals against giant corporations with the power of professional psychologists. Like it feels hopeless as an individual to do anything about it. And it's really not fun to say, just don't participate. I suppose the thing that really gets to me is recognizing the emotional manipulation when people aren't aware of the manipulation themselves. It's like watching a friend who doesn't know that they're in a bad relationship and you keep trying to tell them, but they can't see it because they're so blinded by their love. And why are people so desperately trying to get their hands on that bear cup or a Labubu or whatever thing of the moment it is? I suspect it's because we've been trained to solve our emotional needs by buying stuff our whole lives. And like doing the research for this video, it's the thing that helps me avoid the worst emotional lures that come my way. And I'm thankful that I can share my thoughts with all of you. So, who's doing a no-buy, local buy, or handmade Christmas this year? I say, let's unleash a handmade revolution for the Gen Alpha kids to feel nostalgic about in 30 years.